is the capacity to translate vision into reality. Assalamu alaikum and a very good day to all our viewers. I welcome you all to this very insightful career counseling session on the scope of BS English at Szabist University. My name is Ali Raza Khan and I'm a first semester student of BS English at Szabist. We've all heard the common narrative, if you study English, you end up teaching. While teaching is an incredible noble profession, it is just the tip of the iceberg. Today, a BS in English is a passport to a world of versatility. From AI and computational linguistics to corporate strategy, digital marketing, and the civil services. Our goal today is very simple: to shatter the myths, map out the massive opportunities waiting for you, and show you how to build a future that excites you. And to do that, we have a stellar panel of our own faculty members, experts who build the gap between academic theory and real-world industry. Firstly, we have the program manager of BS English at Szabist, our Reverend Sir Qaiser Hussain, Ma'am Sabeen Amjad, Sir Nasirullah Khan, Sir Ijlal Hussain, and last but not the least, we have Ma'am NIda Shabbir. Thank you very much to all of you for joining us for this very incredibly enlightening and a very informative and a much needed conversation. I am truly delightful and I'm sure all our viewers, students and parents will highly benefit from this conversation. Let's kickstart this session with the first segment, which is based on teaching and academia. And to ponder over this very important topic, I have with me Ma'am Sabeen Amjad, faculty member at Szabist University. Ma'am, thank you very much for your time. So you have a pretty large and a vast experience in the educational spectrum of Karachi. You have worked in multiple school systems, you've worked in multiple organizations, and now you are here at Szabist rendering your creative and professional services. So relating to that, my first question is, according to you and from your vast experience that you carry, what career opportunities exist in English language teaching today? If you could just quickly shine a light on it.
Thank you so much, Ali, for this very insightful question. In fact, one of the biggest myths about a BS English degree is that it only leads to school teaching. That's simply not true anymore. Today, English graduates can teach in colleges, universities, language institutes, corporate organizations, and even online to students across the world. Also, there are opportunities in training IELTS and PT students, business English, communication skills, and teacher education. In my tenure at university level, I have realized one thing, that teaching is never just about grammar or literature. It's about helping students become confident communicators and critical thinkers. At Szabist BS English program, students don't just study language. They develop communication, analytical thinking, and professional skills that prepare them for both local and international careers. Teaching today is global, flexible, and full of opportunities.
Yes, that was truly a fascinating insight, and I couldn't agree more to it. Linking that to my second question, I would like to ask you, ma'am, what, according to you, is the difference between school teaching, college teaching, university teaching, and international language teaching? If you could just ponder over it from your own insights and the years of experience that you have, what distinct qualities you have come across in these domains?
Thank you, Ali. It is considered to be an ordinary question, though it's a crucial one. In fact, every level is unique, but everything begins with the same strong foundation, a BS English degree. A school teacher builds confidence in students and their language basics. If we talk about lecturer, the end discussion, critical thinking, and interpretation. While moving on to university lecture of further advanced subjects, while also conducting research, publishing papers, and developing curricula. An international English language teacher works with learners from different cultures. They often follow global standards like CEFR and communicative teaching methods. At Zabist, we prepare students with the same mindset because, in Zabist, we combine language, literature, linguistic, communication, and practical teaching, practical learning also, giving graduates the flexibility to reach or teach at any level.
Yes, thank you for that, ma'am. My next question to you is, what, according to you, are the prerequisite qualifications that students pursue after BS English if they really wish to become highly competitive teachers? And I'm sure that coming from you as a teacher, this would be a highly informative insight.
Thank you, Ali, for making me a part of the question. In fact, a BS English degree gives you a strong start, but learning shouldn't stop there. Students can continue with an MS, MPhil or PhD depending on their career goals. International certifications like IELTS, CELTA, Delta or TESOL or maybe even TEFL, they are also highly valuable, especially for teaching abroad. That's the mindset we encourage at Zabist in our students, that continuous learning and professional development could help them to flourish in any of the careers they go, and it can actually help them to turn their dreams into reality.
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. So I really wanted to know from you, of course, do you think that English graduates work abroad as language teachers? Is there a possibility? What are the horizons for English language teachers today? If you could just, give us a brief insight into it.
Absolutely, Ali. There is a growing demand for qualified English language teachers in countries like the UAE, Saudi, Qatar, China, Japan, and even in South Korea. Many graduates also teach online, so today we can work with international students without even moving abroad while you are living in your own country. With the right qualification and internationally recognized certifications like IELTS or TEFL, or even BS English graduate, definitely BS English graduate can build a successful global career. I often tell my students that English is one of the few degrees that can take you beyond borders. Being a certified IELTS trainer, I've personally seen the attractive earning potential and the way it provides opportunities to people who are connected with this domain, who are teaching students abroad and at international level. It's a career that's both professionally rewarding and financially fulfilling.
Yes, thank you very much, ma'am. I'm sure that's going to help a lot of our listeners who are watching us today. So thank you for that. My next question is, why do you think English teaching still it is considered one of the most respected and stable professions? What is your general perspective on the role of teachers today?
Actually, it's a fact because every profession relies on effective communication. Whether someone becomes a doctor, engineer, entrepreneur, or a lawyer, they all need strong communication skills. And that's where English teachers have a lasting impact on people's mind and their lives. I've always believed that teaching is much more than delivering lectures. It's about building confidence, encouraging critical thinking, and helping students discover their potential. Since teachers are not only shaping lessons, they are shaping lives. This profession is visibly growing and in demand across the globe, and the profession of teaching will never continue to deteriorate in any of the ways. It's one of the rewarding professions, by the way.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for that very wonderful bunch of insights that you have shared. Now I have a follow-up question, and with that we'll end this segment. The question is, we know that many students enjoy literature, but they are unsure whether they have the aptitude for teaching. So how do we basically bridge the gap between the two very particular realms and domains, English literature and teaching? How do we basically navigate around this?
Great teachers are not simply experts in their subject. They genuinely care about their students. They are patient, approachable, adaptable, and excellent communicators. Most importantly, they know how to make their lessons or learning for students easy and engaging. In students, these qualities can be inculcated during the undergraduate years when they are with us at Zabist University by making them participate to participate in different presentations, seminars, workshop, debates, and teaching activities. At Szabist, we encourage our students to actively participate, communicate, and build practical skills alongside their academic knowledge. We ensure to transform our students into confident future educators. So if you are the one who enjoys language and having a desire to create a leaving impact on people's life actually, BS English isn't just a degree. It can be the beginning of your really meaningful and successful career.
With that, thank you very much, ma'am. It was truly wonderful to listen to your brief insights. That, of course, leads me to the next segment of this round, ladies and gentlemen, that is based on training and professional development, another very important subject as far as BS English is concerned. And to ponder over this very significant subject, we have with us our worthy program manager, Sir Syed Qaiser Hussain. Sir, thank you very much for your time. So, sir, I want to start off by asking you, while I was researching for this particular session, I came to know that you have an incredibly vast amount of experience in not just the educational spectrums, but also in various organizations. You worked in corporate sectors and a multitude of other industries across the landscape. So I'm sure our students and listeners would benefit if you could just quickly get us through the particular fields of training and professional development. What, according to you, does a professional trainer actually do? Because it's not just a profession anymore. We see these trainers all the time. They are our household names almost. So how can a person build a career in this?
Well, thank you so much, Ali, for having me here in this podcast, an extremely important podcast when it comes to choosing a career that has a promising future. So let me begin by answering your question, that basic responsibilities of a trainer. So when it comes to the training industry, a trainer has a lot of responsibility. Let's begin with the first one, which is you need to find out what your trainees want to learn, because if I just like I go into the classroom without any prior knowledge of my students, I will be getting distracted and getting astray, because I will not have any idea of the direction that I need to move into. So learning needs analysis is the very first step that all the trainers they start with. Sometimes the organizations conduct these training needs analysis on their own, and sometimes they ask the trainers to conduct these training needs analysis. So this is the very first step with which the trainers begin their training with. But based on those training needs analysis, they design the training programs based on those outcomes. Then they need to know that what their trainees will be learning throughout the sessions. The workshops, they have to be very interactive. Obviously, it is completely different from a lecture, which is probably to some extent, sometimes it is a monologue where students are expected to listen. On the contrary, when it comes to training, these trainees, they don't come to listen only, they come to participate, they come to learn, but they come to learn by doing certain activities and certain things. So this is how, and this is what the entire the responsibility of a trainer is, starting from conducting the training needs analysis to delivering the amazing workshops based on interactions, based on activities. And this is what your question is.
Thank you very much, sir, for that very, very insightful answer. That leads me to my next question, that is, according to you, what opportunities exist in teacher training, communication skills training, IELTS preparation, soft skills, leadership development, and professional development?
Very good question. A very relevant one as well, because there are so many other professions other than training the corporate employees. You've got teachers training, programs where schools, colleges, even sometimes universities as well, they invite trainers to train their teachers and their professors specifically regarding soft skills and classroom handling skills, like how to handle, bigger classrooms, how to manage these classrooms. Specifically talking about at the university level, conducting these classrooms based on digital platforms, using AI incorporating AI in their daily lectures, how can they use it for the benefit of the students, and how they can keep the students at bay from misusing these platforms. Other than that, when it comes to IELTS or PT, Duolingo, all of these trainings, you have to have an international certification. It is better to have that international certification because then you'll be recognized and you'll be acknowledged as an international trainer who has a certification in all these. Other than that, if you have yourself appeared in IELTS test or in one of these tests, and if you have good communication skills and good language skills, you can start training students on these specific fields. In these specific fields, for instance, IELTS and PT and Duolingo, and other fields. So leadership and management training, coming towards that, in the beginning of your career, it will be very challenging for you to impart training on leadership, because in order to understand, leadership is a very complicated, it's a very complex thing. It's not an easy task, because to lead a group of people, it's a very demanding task. So you first need to understand what are the qualities of a good leader is. Number one, this is theory. Then you'll have to assess the leaders around you, how they manage people, how they motivate people to work, how they get along with the people, because not everyone likes their bosses. That's why we have these two different words, boss and leader. So you need to understand what a leader does in order to become an effective leader. Once you understand, and by the way, every passing generation and every passing year and decade has different demands of the leaders. I cannot say that the leaders who had qualities in the 70s and 80s can be applied on the leaders that are leading today. Absolutely not. So the point here is that you'll have to keep updating yourself in terms of leadership. What are the demands for today's leader? What are the requirements? What are the characteristics? What are the features? And that you can understand by keeping an effective and a successful leader in mind, how he motivates his employees. Now, coming towards the other professions like corporate learning and development consultants, again, it will require time. So in order to become a leadership trainer, first you'll have to be in the position of a leader, and then you can, start telling your stories as well. So these are some of the professions that will require time. So a fresh graduate, if he wants to be in the shoes of a leader, first he'll have to learn the leadership. First he'll have to observe leaders. What are the qualities of some great leaders? And then he'll have to incorporate. It's not necessary that those qualities will be useful and successful in all the situations, by the way, because they're leading human beings, the most complex machines on this earth. So it's not necessary that, when a leader has these qualities, the same qualities can be implemented or applied on a group of people. You can develop some other qualities as well that have not been reported as yet. So that will be more of an innovation. So that is the answer to your question.
Now, that reminds me of my next question, and that is, now we have seen a surge in freelancing. Everybody is talking about it, everybody is exuberant about it, and they want to know and they want to unravel the potential careers in it. So according to you, is freelancing possible as a trainer, because you have been closely associated with the training industry?
Well, absolutely yes, it is very much possible. An example is sitting right in front of you. I am a freelance trainer. I'm not associated with any specific organization. So let me first define what a freelance trainer is. So if you are a part of an organization, or if you are associated with an organization, and if you're conducting trainings from the platform of that organization, you're not a freelance trainer. A freelance trainer is someone who has conducted enough trainings to be acknowledged, to be recognized as a trainer, as a very successful trainer, as a very effective trainer, and then he starts training on his own, from his own platform with his own name. So if you ask me what is the possibility of becoming a freelance trainer, again, give it some time. Get attached to an organization, start assisting someone, be the assistant trainer, be the helper, learn the art of training, how these trainings are conducted, how these trainings are imparted. Most importantly, you will need to learn how to teach adults, because these trainings are, normally these are conducted for adult learners, corporate employees. So you need to learn how to deal with them, how to communicate with them, how to be friendly with them. That's the most important part, because mostly these trainings, the trainees expect the trainer to be friendly, to be approachable. So how you can be approachable to them? How can they ask questions and feel comfortable in coming to you even after the trainings? So you'll have to learn these skills to interact, to communicate, to be friendly, all of these things. So in this way, but it will require time, obviously. So in the beginning of your career, do not try to be a freelance trainer straight away. Learn the art, be on the top, and then do it.
That was a very, very insightful answer, sir. But that, of course, reminds me of a very important concern that most of the freelancers and potential aspiring writers and freelancers have today. And that is, of course, the monetary benefits. So according to you, what are the potential income that exists in this profession, specifically freelancing?
Very good question, because that's what we all try to aim. At the end of the day, what matters is what you're taking home, a lesson or some handsome amount. So it depends on many things. First of all, your expertise. The more time you've spent in the industry, the more worthy you will be. And then your reputation as well. There are people who've spent 20 years, 25 years in the industry, but they have not been very reputable. Their trainings have not been very effective. So you've got to be very careful about it. The way you are conducting these trainings is going to reflect your future. The more you have satisfied trainees, the more success and expertise you're going to develop in that specific field. So in the beginning, you'll be paid less. I'm not promising you a very illustrious amount, a very huge amount in the beginning of your career, which is across the disciplines, across the careers. Anyone who is joining as a fresh graduate is not paid very well, because it depends on the experience, exposure, innovation. The more innovative you are, specifically in this training industry, the more innovative you are, the more appreciated you will be. So beginners can earn through part-time, and experienced trainers, they get premium fees, that's for sure. So the more time you invest and spend in this specific field, the more worthy you will become, and the more demanding you can be.
Thank you very much, sir. That was indeed a very, very, I would say, fascinating insight on this, and also very realistic approach. So I always wanted to ask you, sir, what particular piece of advice would you give to students who want to become confident public speakers and trainers? Because you have experience and you have a whole background, I'm sure you will have many insights on this. What is that one particular specific piece of advice that you would like to give us?
I thank you for asking this question. A very, very important question, but it's kind of an injustice for you to ask me to give just one advice, because it's a skill that everybody wants to master. So how can I give you just one advice? Okay, let me give you the advice in terms of its let's organize it in a way. The very first and the very basic advice, if you ask me for one, I'll give you more, but if you ask me for one, is practice. The more practice, the more you practice the skill public speaking, the more proficient you can become. This applies for all the skills, but specifically for public speaking, because even today, when I start my trainings, I have that specific, anxiety in my mind, and my heart keeps pounding. So this is very natural. So the more you practice, the more proficient you become. Now, the most important part is whenever someone stands in front of an audience or in front of a crowd, he starts having this fear, this anxiety, that what would they think about me if I make mistakes? So if you are afraid of making mistakes, you will probably not be moving ahead, because you'll be afraid. So do not be afraid of making mistakes. If you're making a mistake, that means you're learning. So if you are practicing, you're bound to make mistakes. If you are making mistakes, you're bound to progress and learn from your mistakes. Making a mistake is not a problem. Repeating the mistake is. So learn from your mistakes, do not repeat them, and keep progressing. This is not one advice, but this is connected to the first one. That is, keep practicing more and more. You have more societies at Szabist specifically talking about, we have got more societies of public speaking. You can get chances of public speaking more across the country. Specifically in Karachi, you've got more platforms where you can practice debates, declamations, public speaking. We've got English Speaking Union of Pakistan. So you can practice all these, on all these platforms, your public speaking skills. And this is for sure that it's going to improve your public speaking skills.
Thank you very much, sir, for your very insightful remarks and for very well elaborating the role of a trainer, especially in today's world. And I myself am an aspiring trainer, even though there's a multitude of other things that I would like to do in my professional life. But yeah, training is one part that I would really like to explore. And that reminds me of the next segment, which is based on educational administration and university management. Now, when we talk about BS English, it is not just, which is a very common myth, it is not just relevant to education and teaching, freelancing, content creation, etc. And to talk about management sciences and the linkage with BS English, we have with us the very incredible senior faculty member at Szabist, Mr. Ijlal Hussain. Sir, thank you very much for your time. Such a delight to have you. Sir, my first question to you is, what career exists in educational administration today, especially in the context of Pakistan?
Thank you for having me. See, there are some, common myths related to BS English program and BS English degree. Especially one of them is, the scope of BS English is limited to classroom and the teaching field. That's not true, because educational administration offer a diverse career opportunities, including, for example, academic coordinator, program manager, administration officer, student affairs officer, and quality assurance officer as well. So there are diverse opportunities available, administration side. So there's a myth that only, the scope of BS English is, limited to classroom or teaching field.
Thank you very much, sir, for that very brief overview of the administration side of BS English and the various career opportunities it leads to. My next question, which is a pretty complex, but I'm sure there's nobody else better than you who can debunk this. What, according to you, because you have been closely associated with various institutions of Pakistan, premier institutions, so what, according to you, are the jobs, or basically we can say the role of program manager, academic coordinator, or quality assurance officer? What do they actually do? I mean, I always wanted to know, these are very big terms, but what do they even stand for? What are these guys actually doing? And what career potentials do they have?
They manage the academic side of, an institution. Like a program manager, oversees, academic program, while an academic coordinator supports curriculum and delivery as well as, faculty coordination. Similarly, a quality assurance officer ensures, the academic standards and quality benchmarks.
Thank you very much, Sir Ijlal, for that very insightful overview of the various occupations that we often hear about, but we've never actually sat down and talked about the role of these people in these professional capacities. And that leads me to my next question, which is, can BS English graduate work in university administration? Is that a possibility? What are the horizons for a BS English student or a graduate, particularly in university administration? If you could just shine light on it.
This is an intriguing question. Thank you. BS English program at Szabist University, here we try to inculcate multiple skills like critical thinking, leadership skills, writing skills. These all skills are definitely today in 21st century, they are very relevant and vital for, administration side. So they can join, different position, in administration side.
Thank you very much, sir. Yes, I certainly agree to it. And that was a very practical and a realistic picture that you have shown us. on social media, on these various platforms, we hear the word social skills or soft skills. So, according to you, which skills are most important specifically in educational leadership?
Well, another important question. Thank you. So, see, there are diverse and multiple skills required in today's time, especially when we talk about administration side. The first and foremost thing is strong communication skills to convince the target audience. The second one is critical thinking, to solve the academic problems. Third one is, I think, that is administration skills, where you manage the academic operations. Last but not least, since we are living in 21st century, that is the digital literacy, because students now involved in different digital platforms, especially AI is one of them.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. And I totally agree. These soft skills are a prerequisite for success, not only in leadership administration or in these leadership positions, but also in every other realm or domain that one wants to flourish in. So absolutely agree to everything that you said. And I'm sure our viewers would ponder over it and would try to continuously hone and improve their soft skills. According to you, what career progression can students expect in this field of administration and management sciences, especially if they are a BS English graduate?
Well, a typical career path is, academic coordinator or a program officer. Then, moving towards assistant manager, and then deputy registrar, then registrar or director positions. There are other senior, university leadership positions available. So, with experience, postgraduate qualifications, and strong leadership, definitely graduates can progress to executive roles.
Yes, sir, absolutely. That was very well put, and I certainly agree that GPAs, marks, it's all very important. But these soft skills are the backbone, or we can say the prerequisite for success or blossoming in any career that one wants to sort of get into. So thank you very much for that. What career progression can students expect in this field of management and administration, most specifically if they come from a BS English background?
Well, so a typical career path is like academic coordinator or program officer. Then definitely gradually they can promote towards as assistant manager and deputy registrar, and then definitely senior university leadership positions they can join there. So there are huge and diverse opportunities for them for progression.
That's right. So thank you very much. That was indeed a very practical approach and a very crucial picture which you have given us. And that leads me to my final question of this segment, which is, how can students prepare themselves for leadership positions while completing the degree? For example, right now I'm in my first semester and I want to know and I want to find out how can I sort of make my way across different competitive fields, especially leadership positions, while I'm also completing my degree. What is the roadmap for a person like me who's currently enrolled in BS English?
Well, like BS English program at Szabist, we are here providing such environment where students definitely can join multiple societies, leadership roles, as well as academic events, and definitely also they can play multiple roles like volunteers. They can groom their personalities and develop strong communication, critical thinking skills. These all things are definitely vital for their future orientations and progression.
Yes, sir, certainly. I agree to it. I have taken my notes and I am going to try and contemplate and practically follow the advices which you have given. So thank you very much for that. That, ladies and gentlemen, takes me to the next segment of this session, which is based on research, curriculum, and NGOs. Now, BS English, as I said, is not just limited to teaching, but here we are going to talk about research. Now, research is often considered the backbone of education. Szabist in particular is very well known for its departments in research. And Szabist has over the years produced some very highly regarded research papers. The students have given some very, very crucial frameworks, not only in the field of science and technology, but also in various other multidisciplinary domains that Szabist offers, and BS English is one of them. And research is an integral part of it. And that is, of course, the point of discussion for this particular segment. And to debunk and to basically decipher over this topic of research, we have with us the very flamboyant and friendly Sir Nasirullah Khan. He's part of the BS English faculty and he has got some really great insights, which I cannot wait to get into. So, sir, thank you very much, first of all, for joining us. Sir, I want to begin this segment by asking you what opportunities exist in research after BS English. For example, I don't want to go into content creation, or I don't want to be a teacher, but I want to contribute some sort of research in this field. So where can I go and what can I basically expect, if you could just shine light on this?
All right, thank you very much. As far as the research part is concerned, being BS English graduate student, there are, by the way, numerous opportunities available. For instance, we'll be starting with the research assistant opportunity available at universities in academia. Nowadays, universities and even there are some corporate sector, they need at times some research assistants in order to get their research job done, and that is one of the open opportunity for the BS English graduates. And I will be just highlighting this point here, that Szabist University offers BS English program that highlights actually the research arena, opens a research arena for the students where they could sharpen up their research skills and to do some lucrative research in the field of even linguistics or other prevailing fields.
Thank you very much, sir, for that very brief insight. That leads me to my next question, that is, what exactly does a curriculum developer do?
All right, as far as the curriculum development is concerned, or the attached strings with it, I'll be highlighting one of the important aspects of the language here. Language has a set standard that has to be met by the user of the language. Therefore, when we say that we have to teach any course, for that course there must be a course outline, a syllabus designed, and for that, of course, BS English graduate is trained for developing course descriptions at times, syllabus at times, and even curriculum is constructed under the supervision of BS English graduate, because there are certain courses which are taught during the bachelor program where they are mastered, trained to do such jobs, and that is something, one of the lucrative part, because the standard of the language is set through the curriculum, through the development process, and that is robust at times. And the BS English program being offered by Szabist University has certain courses where we usually sharpen up students' such skills as well, so that there is diversity in terms of getting jobs in the industry.
Thank you very much, sir, for your very highly informative advices and insights into the curriculum development sector. Now, the next question is, can English graduates work with international organizations? Like if someone wants to expand their horizons and go beyond their local and national organizations and want to work internationally with this degree, what is the potential? Where do we stand as far as international borders are concerned? What is the scope of BS English internationally?
Yes, of course. This is something that I would say the most tapped area in the for the BS English graduate student, where they could work with multiple, numerous top-notch organization, international organization rather. For instance, if we start with the British Council, UNICEF, UNESCO, there are more organizations such as, if we say Routledge, is something that is they work with, because these top-notch organizations offer lucrative jobs to the BS English graduate. And if we talk about the Szabist BS English program, we have designated some courses where these skills are mastered, they are tuned up in order to facilitate them to get their jobs in such organization. And if we look into the other aspect of it, of course, US Consulate is one of the international organization where they look forward to BS English graduate, and they are accommodated at best places or at the best departments where they could serve in terms of having good communication skills and having command on linguistics ability and competence.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for that. So let's talk about NGOs, social work. So if a BS English student graduates and wants to step up into the social sector of Pakistan or anywhere and wants to do something for the society, what do and how do these NGOs basically employ English graduates? What are the career opportunities in that particular field?
All right. As far as the NGOs are concerned, every now and then, every morning when we wake up, we see such opportunities from the local NGOs, Pakistani NGOs available, where they are looking for such English graduates who have command on their linguistics ability, their communication skill, their writing skills. Reason being, they have to present their reports to the higher management, and that report writing is one of the, I would say, trained niche for the BS English graduate. And at Szabist, we at our BS English program, we have certain courses that promote research writing, report writing, and of course, writing for academia, where these jobs are usually done. Effective writing skills are mastered through such courses at Szabist. So therefore, I would strongly recommend, by the way, that BS English at Szabist would be facilitating students and these future job prospects to get their jobs done, or even to get jobs at NGOs even in Pakistan.
All right, so thank you very much. So I started this session, this very particular segment, talking about the importance and significance of research. And my final question for this round is based on research. So why are research and proposal writing skills becoming increasingly valuable today? In a world where information is immediate, we have instant gratifications, there is an influx of information. What is the role of research? If you could quickly ponder over it and talk about it.
All right. Research has one of the pivotal role in getting jobs and of course in the industry. For instance, if we look at the broader spectrum here, we see that organizations nowadays, they look for the grants, and for that grants, they look for writing better, best acceptable proposal in different domains. So that is one of the area where research comes and it plays its role. That's why research has its pivotal role. And of course, if we talk about the program being offered at Szabist, there are actually courses available where students are taught, they are usually mentored in order to have at times command on such skills where they could be accommodated and they rather become future better acceptable lucrative researchers.
Thank you very much, Sir Nasir, for very well elaborating the role of research and its potential scope which is associated with this particular degree of BS English. Ladies and gentlemen, to the next segment of this career counseling session, which is based on media, journalism, and content creation. And who better to talk about it than our very own Ma'am NIda Shabbir. Ma'am, thank you very much for your very precious time. Let's quickly get into the realm of content creation, because that is something that I am personally interested in and a lot of my classmates as well. Let us start off by asking you, so social media, has transformed the way we consume information, right? There are different layers and levels of information. But today, content has become one of the world's largest industries. There are careers being made out of it. People are becoming household names and at the same time becoming very, very affluent as well. And they are earning a very, very respectable and a good earning out of it. So if you could just decipher the role of content creators, most specifically in media, how do you think English graduates can become journalists?
Okay, thank you so much, first of all, Ali, for having me here and for that lovely introduction. So, when it comes to journalism, obviously you need to understand how to write better. At BS English program at Szabist, we are trying to train our students into writing, reporting incidents in a way which would hone their skills in becoming a better journalist. So the major thing that you have to look after is how you would research. Research would help in understanding the incidents and then reporting it better. The second important thing is doing an internship at any newsroom that would also make them better journalists. So there are multiple things that they can employ to become a better journalist in terms of writing, reporting, and connecting better with the audience.
That is so well put, and I'm so glad that you talked about a responsible journalism and not just journalism for the sake of it, but journalism for the sake of an impact and a long-term approach. So thank you for that. What opportunities do you think lie in the publishing sector for English graduates?
So when it comes to publishing, you need to understand how to do proofreading. So that is one of the major opportunity that's available to our students. You can also become editorial assistant. That is also there. Content curation. All of these multiple things actually helps you in becoming better at publishing and understanding how publishing is done. At BS English program, we are definitely trying and training our students to understand how to proofread, how to do editorial work. All of these things, again, create opportunities for them to become a part of publishing and publishing houses.
Thank you very much, ma'am. That was indeed very, very informative. I want to ask you, along with that, what do you think exactly does a content writer or a copyright writer basically do? I mean, these are the terms we have heard about, but we haven't really sat down and talked about the role and the multitude of plethoric opportunities which lie and associate with this degree of BS English. If you could just quickly shine a light on it.
Okay. So before diving deep into understanding what are the two different roles, we need to understand the difference between the two categories. Most of the times we mistake one with the other, content writing and copywriting. So when it comes to content writing, which means that there you are educating and informing the audience. And the next is copywriting. That is where you are persuading your audience with advertisements, websites, and marketing materials. So when you understand the difference, definitely you also understand your role in it. And that is how it works.
Absolutely, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Yes, publishing and content creating and copywriting is indeed a very, very consequential occupation of the modern world. Do you think students can build careers as freelance writers? Because there's a myth, there's a very divided approach. People believe it is a legitimate profession. Some people believe it's a myth, it's a fraud, it's some kind of a scam. So what do you basically believe? What is your take on this?
Thank you for that question, Ali. There are multiple, of course, as you've mentioned, there is a lot of speculation on what exactly freelancers are doing. And specifically when it comes to BS English graduate, we need to first understand how the market is working. With the advent of AI, things have changed, but it has also created newer opportunities for people who have better English or language skills. So BS English graduate would be able to work in different fields, for example, content writing. Then there is copywriting. You can also, freelancers can also be an SEO expert, which is search engine optimization. These are multiple subfields where a freelancer can work. And how can they do that? How can they find opportunities? They require to create a profile on Upwork, Fiverr. They can also create a profile on LinkedIn and become a LinkedIn strategist as well. These are different fields that they can work in as a freelancer. And at BS English program at Szabist, we are definitely giving a direction to our students in creating these profiles and also becoming better at it to connect better with the audiences.
Thank you very much, ma'am. That was indeed very informative and enlightening and very eye-opening, by the way. What skills distinguish an outstanding content creator? I mean, every other person I meet today wants to become a content writer, wants to become a YouTuber, wants to write blogs. But how can one create a mark in the industry as an outstanding content writer? How do you think we navigate such complex and challenging waters where exists a lot of competition?
Yes, definitely, Ali. There is a lot of competition in the market. But to stand differently, you need to understand if you have the degree with you in BS English, you automatically are creating content which has clarity, it has consistency. You know how to tell a story. You understand the audiences far better than anybody else. And also you have an understanding of SEO, which is search engine optimization. So all of these together would actually make you stand differently from the others with the BS English degree. And of course, at Szabist, we are as trainers, teachers, we are guiding our students in writing material which is relatable, which has emotional content, which eventually builds trust with the audiences.
Thank you very much, ma'am NIda, for that very, very incredible overview of the world of content creation and freelancing and responsible media in your own words. If a student is really interested in writing, they want to explore and discover that as a separate career, what steps or what guidelines would you give to a potential new writer who's just beginning to write but has immense potential? How can they build a decent portfolio?
Okay, obviously by writing. When you write and practice, you become better at it. So when you are a student at the university, you can definitely start by writing blogs. You can write for the campus magazine, that also helps. And at BS English program at Szabist University, we provide our students with the opportunities where they are given a chance to write. And then all of the teachers and the trainers, we guide them in improving their drafts. So practice makes you perfect. But then you also need to put your work out there for the audiences to have a look at it. Because then they can give you feedback, they can review it, they can tell you with guidelines, they can guide you, they can give you, suggestions as in how to improve it. But before that, you can also analyze it on your own. That is like the first step. Write it and become your own editor, your own proofreader. Give yourself a feedback in how you can improve it and then align it with the feedback that you're receiving from the others. So yes, first of course, write a blog. Write for the magazine if there is in your university. And yes, at Szabist, we do have a magazine and we are trying our students to write for it. We encourage them, we give them positive, constructive feedback that actually helps them in writing properly and in a better way.
Absolutely, absolutely. That is so well put. Thank you very much for that. Writing great content is one thing, I believe. But ensuring it reaches the right audience is another thing, right? It's another whole task in itself. That brings us to digital communication and marketing, which is a very exponentially growing field of study and a career in itself. And I would like to once again approach you, ma'am NIda, to talk about how can English graduates contribute to digital marketing? What are the horizons for an English graduate or a potential English language expert as far as digital marketing is concerned?
Okay, thank you so much for actually asking that question. It's very pertinent to today's time and day. As you've rightfully said, it is a fast growing field and it is taking over everything. Social media is all around us. It's mostly like if you have a phone, then each room is a newsroom, and then everyone is a publisher. So when it comes to that, obviously we need to understand how we are contributing, what exactly is happening there. The very first thing, of course, content development. That's one of the categories through which you're contributing. So BS English program at Szabist University hones your skills in a way where you are contributing in content development. Then email campaigns, you are also the brand storyteller. You have to create a story around a brand, and of course this degree helps you in connecting better. These are multiple fields, and SEO, as I have mentioned earlier, that is also one of the major fields through which you are contributing in digital communication.
Absolutely, absolutely. That is so well put. If I am deeply interested in business marketing, or I want to step up into the marketing world, but I do not have a marketing or a business background, but I have this degree, which is of BS English, how can I step up into the world of marketing? And what is the role of an English graduate? How can we, channel our potential across and through this particular field of marketing?
Okay, so when it comes to marketing, that's a very good question, Ali. We need to understand, if you do not have the concerned degree, then how can you become a part of marketing industry? So when it comes to that, what does marketing require? There are three things. The very first thing is words, right? And then the strategy. The third thing is understanding the audiences. So with the BS English degree, you can definitely work with the words because you are learning how to play with the words, how to weave the story, how to build it around a brand, around a product, right? And understanding the audiences. That is like a plus. When you understand the audience, you're building the content which is going to be relatable, emotionally something which is sound for the audiences to connect better. And of course, eventually, as I said, that definitely builds trust. So you can definitely utilize all of these things to become better as a marketing strategist.
Yes, absolutely. I truly agree to it. And that was a very realistic picture you have shown us. I want you to decipher and ponder over digital skills. Most importantly, what digital skills do you think English students should begin learning today, like from right now? If they are listening to this podcast, and like, for example, I'm here in front of you, what advice would you give me? What digital skills should I start learning from right now, from this moment onwards?
Okay, so I have spoken a lot about content development. So you need to first understand what exactly is content, right? How you develop it, how you delve deeper into it to structure it in a way that it connects with the audiences. So content analytics is one of the things that one needs to understand. Then SEO, which is search engine optimization, that's one of the most important skill that you need to start working on. Then comes in social media marketing management tools. What are the different tools that are available and how to actually utilize them in becoming better at telling a story digitally. Apart from that, I would say that you should also understand how data-driven marketing is done, right? These are multiple skills that you can definitely start off with. And at Szabist and our BS English program, we are training our students with all of these different skills. We are telling them how to utilize them, how to train themselves in becoming better at it.
Absolutely, yes. That is indeed very, very insightful. And that leads me to the final question of this round, which is based on strategic communication and digital media. Ma'am, I want to ask you, if you were to suggest any 3 digital skills that every English student should learn before graduation, what would they be? Any 3 digital skills?
If I have to suggest any 3, then of course the very first would be SEO. That is important. Second would be content strategy, how to develop it, how to strategize it, how to manifest it, how to analyze it, all of those things. And the third and the last would be, if it has to be just 3, then understanding the audiences, how the audiences actually relate with the material. And for that, you need to understand how the market is working, understanding the trends, understanding what's running, and also what are the kind of campaigns that are all around you. Be an observer. So in BS English program at Szabist University, we are definitely incorporating all of these different skills through our different courses, our different, multitude of activities, where they are definitely honing their skills in the direction of becoming a better digital communicator. And of course, eventually, if they really want to do journalism, then that too is a part of our program.
Truly, truly. Thank you very much, ma'am, for those very wonderful insights and very, very crucially eye-opening insights into the world of digital media. That leads me, ladies and gentlemen, to the next segment of this session, which is based on the emerging career in linguistics. And who better to talk about it than our very own worthy faculty member, Sir Nasirullah Khan. Sir, I want to ask you, what is corpus linguistics? Now, this sounds like a fancy term. It sounds good, but I want you to debunk. I want you to please kindly decipher this particular term and its role in today's world.
All right, thank you very much. Yes, corpus linguistics, as far as is concerned, this is one of the emerging field of linguistics that helps identify, measure, evaluate, analyze larger form or text, right, where we identify different vocabulary in it. Token of vocabularies are usually identified. For instance, if I have to identify that Mr. XYZ has given a speech, so how many times he or she has used this particular word and what does it mean? The emphasis on words are usually considered the corpus linguistics. This term has been taken from the word corpora, right? That means to deal with a larger amount of text, and in order to help the common domains to identify that what actually mean by the word being used by the speaker. At Szabist University, in our BS English program, this is one of the unique identified course being offered by the way at Szabist University, and we have, alhamdulillah, very trained, we have a faculty member who have a solely command on such courses to teach. So this would be one of the, it would be a cherry on the cake, by the way, at Szabist. If someone studies BS English program, they would be having on command on the corpus linguistics as well.
Since we are talking about fancy words, how can I not talk about computational linguistics? This is a term that I recently discovered. I'm only in my first semester, and I'm sure I'm going to come across it somewhere as I move across this degree, maybe in the next semester. So, sir, would you please tell our audience what is computational linguistics and what is its potential career moving forward?
All right, computational linguistics is actually when language is driven by technology, right? And in this emerging era where artificial intelligence is playing its vital role in order to assist language ability and even linguistics assist computers as well. So that's how. For instance, if we talk about the machine translation, right? So linguistics plays its vital role here in this particular part. Moreover, if we talk about this part, that is whenever we create any chatbot, of course, at the back end we have to provide some data which is acceptable, and that data is in any language, and at times this is in an English language, where the BS English graduate plays its vital role, that how a better, acceptable, correct and competent language, which is a standard language at times, is entered into the back-end data, where it is visible then to the front-end user at the end of the day. So, of course, computational linguistics means when computer combines with language in order to facilitate learning process, be it linguistics learning, be it computer learning, be it any domain learning. So it is how we usually segregate these two words from each other. At Szabist University, in our BS English program, we have computational linguistics, and that is, by the way, a well constructed and designed course under the supervision of PhD scholars. They have just put a lot of effort to design this course in order to facilitate 21st century learning, where AI is all around us. So that's how we say that computational linguistics plays its role, and this is how we offer at our in our BS English program at Szabist University.
Thank you very much, sir, for that very informative insight into the world of computational linguistics. That reminds me of something that I used to hear while I was growing up. I used to watch a lot of crime shows, and they always talked about forensic reports. They always talked about the postmortem reports, and that reminds me of a fancy term that I learned in linguistics recently, and that is forensic linguistics. So, sir, if you could just quickly give us a brief analysis of what is forensic linguistics and the potential careers associated with it.
All right. As far as the forensic linguistics is concerned, this term at times look a bit difficult to understand, but I'll just make it easy to understand. See, whenever we prepare any legal document for any legal aspect or any legal advice, so that document needs to be understood in the best way possible, and that document needs to fulfill the requirement of the job for which it has been designed. And remember that whatever document is prepared, there's a language involved, and whatever language is used, the quality of the language decides that where this case would go actually. So that's how where forensic linguistics plays its role, where the legality of different aspects are tested, where these criminal proceedings are usually at times heard, or they are usually conducted. They usually encompass around forensic linguistics, where the legal aspect is usually touched upon. So yes, this is one of the prevailing field, by the way, and I'm looking forward to it, where our students are working a lot in this field. The reason being where we have these cyber crimes are taking place, the way the words are opted and used online. So see, our students are working on this in our BS English program, and we are hoping to have very lucrative, a very productive research being conducted in this field as well, inshallah, in future at our Szabist.
Absolutely, yes. Yes, that was very, very new for me to hear. But yes, if anyone wants to join BS English, this is something that you can expect, and you can play around and find it. I personally find it very intriguing. How do you think are English graduates contributing to artificial intelligence and natural language processing? Now, when we talk about language as a domain, we cannot forget the ever-evolving exponential rate at which AI is becoming a part of every single discipline, or be it language, be it social sciences, be it business. AI is somehow making its way. It's throwing its tentacles all across us, no matter how much we neglect it or ignore it. So, what's your take on AI and language, most specifically as a linguist?
All right. If we talk about the AI, the open AI, or all these platforms available, being linguist, we look at it from such perspective that whatever is designed at the back end, there is a language involved. And since we are living in a global village now, English language has become a lingua franca, mean a language which is commonly used for getting our day-to-day objectives achieved. Therefore, graduate from BS English background, they are highly in need in this particular field, because recently I was going through a research report where most of the BS English graduates have been hired by the Google, by the Microsoft and open AI source generation websites or organizations. Reason being, because they have a good command on language. Secondly, they know the nitty-gritty of the linguistics and the language being used. Therefore, they have a bright future in such organizations I just mentioned: Google, Microsoft, OpenAI, and NLP, by the way, is one of the emerging area as well, where they can just shine, they can get their jobs, they can have bright future.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. And I think we really need to sort of understand and begin to accept that AI is the new normal. If we really want to prove ourselves in the real world, most specifically in a professional capacity, then we certainly cannot neglect the role of artificial intelligence, and we have to learn to operate it and accept it as a part of our modern day learning and professional development. That, ladies and gentlemen, leads me to the final and very consequential question of this round, which is the fear of artificial intelligence basically replacing it all. Now, this is a concern which is universal now. Everybody is so freaked out with AI, the need to adapt and be flexible, and also the fear and the apprehensions that are attached to artificial intelligence. Sir, I want to ask you, as an English language graduate, as a BS English graduate, should I be scared of AI, or should I prepare myself and get ready to adapt to it as far as my degree is concerned?
All right. If we talk about the AI, the open AI, or all these platforms available, being linguist, we look at it from such perspective that whatever is designed at the back end, there is a language involved. And since we are living in a global village now, English language has become a lingua franca, mean a language which is commonly used for getting our day-to-day objectives achieved. Therefore, graduate from BS English background, they are highly in need in this particular field, because recently I was going through a research report where most of the BS English graduates have been hired by the Google, by the Microsoft and open AI source generation websites or organizations. Reason being, because they have a good command on language. Secondly, they know the nitty-gritty of the linguistics and the language being used. Therefore, they have a bright future in such organizations I just mentioned: Google, Microsoft, OpenAI, and NLP, by the way, is one of the emerging area as well, where they can just shine, they can get their jobs, they can have bright future.
That leads me, ladies and gentlemen, to the next segment of this today's very important career counseling session, which is business and corporate careers. And who better to talk about it than the worthy program manager, Sir Syed Qaiser. Sir, I want to start off by asking you, since you have worked in multiple corporate sectors and business industries, I want to know, specifically as a student of BS English, what corporate careers are suitable for an English graduate like me? If I want to step up into the business world after I'm done with this degree, where to go?
Well, that's a very important question, but the answer is not going to be short, because I have a complete range of professions that a student of BS English can pursue their career in. But let's be very quick. First is corporate communication officer. Any student who wants to join corporate organization, this is the best way. Managing internal and external communication, drafting company announcements, speeches, newsletters, reports, and maintaining organization's professional image in the public is a very huge responsibility. Moving on to something which is very rare, but people do not know it, but I can guarantee you that a student can make their career a very promising career in HR industry, specifically students of BS English, because recruitment and interviewing, specifically if we talk about multinational organizations. So today, if anyone has command over communication skills, you can conduct these interviews, you can do this recruitment process better than anyone else. Similarly, employee engagement and communication, you can document a policy, you can coordinate the trainings, you can be the training manager, which is a very promising career these days, because these multinational organizations, they now have a budget for training and development. Performance management, this is something which is one of the main key roles for the HR industry. Let's talk about learning and development specialist. Designing the employees' training programs across the year, conducting communication and soft skills workshops themselves, developing learning materials, across the year, and evaluating training effectiveness. This is these are some of the roles that an HR person can perform, and I'm sure as a graduate of BS English can do it far better than anybody else. Content writer, some of my colleagues are going to talk about, and some of my colleagues must have talked about it. Content writing is one of the most promising careers that a BS English graduate can pursue. Writing blogs, website content, articles, brochures, marketing materials. They can produce SEO-friendly digital content. Specifically talking about copywriting, today we can see many advertisements that educate you to the importance of copywriting. And the very first sentence that came out of their mouth was, "If you are good at English." So who can be better at English than a graduate of BS English, and specifically talking about a Szabist student. Now, copywriting, as I mentioned, is one of the elements of it. Now, technical writing, this is something which is very much neglected, but technical writers are some of the most highly paid employees across the world, I must say. They prepare user manuals, which is you can say it's the face of the product. Similarly, writing software documentations and developing product guidelines, creating standard operating procedures. This is for someone who is good at communication skills, good at language, and BS English student is obviously good at that. Digital content strategist, it is one of the most promising careers, planning the content for websites and social media, developing content, calendars, coordinating with marketing teams specifically because they need the right content to be put, on the social media, and specifically analyzing, audiences engagement. So these are some of the JDs that they can perform. Social media manager. Today, people, the internet is in English language. So in order to understand, in order to manipulate with the words, play with the words, so the ethos, pathos, and logos, all those things, they can be done very appropriately by someone who has an English degree. You can manage social media pages, you can create communication strategies, you can get engaged with the audience, and specifically monitoring the online reputation. One of the most key elements is that sometimes your page gets blocked by Facebook or these organizations. So how would you interact with them? How would you make them understand your part, your perspective? So this can be very appropriately done, very efficiently done by someone who has an English degree. Other than that, if we move on, public relation officers. Handling media these days is not an easy task. Writing press releases, organizing press conferences, managing corporate reputations, that's what a public relations officer does, and specifically talking about a BS English student, it'll be a very easy task for him. I've already talked about corporate training in detail, so I will not be moving towards that. Business communication specialists. This is it has come out to be as one of the most promising careers as well, where you improve communication within the organization, how to talk, how to walk, all of these things, how to be engaged with the leaders, with the bosses, with the managers, preparing official correspondences, developing communication policies, and coaching employees specifically on professional communication, the ethics of professional communication. Now, the next that I can go, there is a line that I can go on and on and on. So, it will never end. Trust me, it will never end, because there are so many professions that I must have missed some of them, I'm sure. That your viewers will be pointing out in their comments as well. So customer success manager, and if you keep moving on, corporate affairs officer, marketing executive, brand communication executive, a corporate research analyst, proposal writer, bid writer, business development executive, executive assistant, corporate event coordinator, and whatnot. All of these things, all of these professions, they are very much suitable for a graduate of BS English, because all of these jobs, they require communication skills. And something that I can guarantee you is that a graduate of BS English at Szabist can very effectively and very easily handle these jobs, because the program has been designed, it has been created. Another very important, we have editors in the newspapers. Who becomes the editor, and who can perform this job better than a BS English student? I know, an editor of Dawn News. I don't know whether he's still at that place, in that position or not, but he was a graduate of English. Communications consultant, not only corporate communication, the communication between husband and wife, the daily communication between a parent and children, right? You can have speech therapists. So it's the list is not ending, Ali. Trust me, it'll keep on going, and it'll keep on incorporating. I can say that an English graduate can never remain unemployed. guarantee is if he has developed specific skills that we have incorporated in our curriculum, specifically here at Szabist, BS English program. So I know, as I said, it's going to be a longer answer. I'm sorry for that. I'm taking so much time of your viewers, but it was important. It was important. So I believe to some extent I have answered your questions.
Yes, sir. Definitely. I agree to that. My next question is also related to business, but more of a technical or a human perspective of it. And this is a random question. Sir, I want to know, how can BS English students enter human resources if they want to be a part of it?
Very relevant question, and I'm grateful that you asked this question, because this is something that can be a surprising element for many of the of your viewers. BS English, human resources, what's the connection? There is a very strong connection. So if a student wants to pursue his career in human resources, first of all, he has to develop his interpersonal skills. As I said, communication skills, internal communication, external communication. So he can get internship in any HR industry, because there are industries out there, HR, specifically the recruitment industries, they offer internships. I have many friends who are working specifically in HR recruitment industries, and they have told me this specific element, that they always look for someone who is good at communication skills, because this is what they are generally required to do, communicate. Human resources is something that you have to manage them. So then, while being an internship, you can study these labor laws, the HR practices. You can gain experience, and then you can make your career in the training industry as well if you want. So HR is industry really will appreciate someone who has good communication skills, and that's what we are here for. Students of BS English at Szabist, I'm sure they're going to have good communication. They're going to have command over communication skills, and that's what will make them relevant to the HR industry.
Absolutely, sir. That also reminds me of communication, because communication, ladies and gentlemen, lies at the center of this program. As a student, I have noticed, I have experienced it myself, that even though before joining this program, I had really good communication skills and a personal yearning for it, but I've realized that after joining this particular degree, my communication has escalated to another level altogether, because I am constantly reading, writing, and thinking about the language, right? And that reminds me of the role of communication in the corporate sectors of Pakistan. And who better to ask about it than Sir Qaiser? Sir, I want to know, how can I make my career in the corporate sector if I want to, especially and most specifically, corporate communication?
So, to answer this question, first we'll have to see what corporate communication officer does. He prepares official communications, he manages internal communication, he writes speeches, reports, he handles media content, he protects organizational reputation. So if you look at these or some of these are some of the JDs that a corporate communication officer has. So in my perception, in my opinion, again, someone who has command over communication skills and good at specifically English language can impart these duties way better than anybody else. So if you want to make your career in corporate communication, these are the skills that you need to develop, so that you can claim your share out there in the market.
Absolutely. Certainly noted, sir. What opportunities do you think exist in public relations and business communication for an English graduate like me?
A very strong link, because public relations has something to do with communication. You need to have corporate PR, you need to have relationship with the media, you need to have communication with the brands, you need to be good at business writing, you need to learn how to manage crisis communication, how to engage with the stakeholders. All these things come down to one thing, which is you need to have good communication skills. And in today's world, communication means command over English language. Yes, we can communicate in our mother tongue as well, in our native or in our national language as well. But corporate communication in the corporate world, they prefer someone who has good, sound English language skills, so that they can communicate internationally as well.
All right, sir. Thank you very much for that very deep inside scoop into the business world, and most specifically corporate and business communication. How important are communication skills in today's job market? I mean, your GPAs, your marks, it all amalgamates into a prerequisite that leads you to an interview. But what is the role of communication in getting you a good, respectable, a well-earned job? If you could shine a light on it.
Very crucial, very crucial. Some of the strongest links that are out there in the world is the link of job market and communication. If I may ask you this question, that if a student appears in an interview, how is he assessed? On what grounds? So basically there are two things: content knowledge and then how he communicates. If he has content knowledge, if he knows his stuff, but if he is unable to communicate it to the employer in the interview, would you consider it as a good interview? I would not. On the contrary, the employers out there, they know that fresh graduates do not have, they're not very skilled. They don't have sound knowledge because they are fresh graduates. They need to learn these things. They need to spend time. They need to be experienced. They need to be exposed. But what they get more inspired with is their soft skills, how they communicate, how they use their body language. Specifically in today's world, how good someone is at an English language. I'm sorry to use this expression, but this is a fact. If you can ask someone in the corporate world, they would say that yes, English is considered as an advantage. So if you are good at language, English language specifically, you can very easily impress anyone. And people know that knowledge comes with time. So what I would suggest is, first, be good at your language of the interview that you will be appearing in. And then you can express that, see, I'm a fresh graduate, I'm still learning, and I'm here to learn, and I'm a quick learner. So you can prove your point. But if you're good at English language, I think you can be considered for a job, because as I said, they already know that this person is here to learn and he's a fresh graduate. So communication has the strongest connection with your interview, with your job, and specifically talking about communication in English language. That's what the answer to your question is.
With that, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the conclusion of this very brilliantly executed career counseling session in the context of BS English program at Szabist University. And I want to thank each and every one involved in orchestrating this wonderful session. Today's discussion has given us a lot to contemplate and think about, and I'm sure has completely transformed the conventional ways of thinking, or opting for a program, or anyone who's stuck or stumbles upon this video, make sure to watch it till the end, and I'm sure you all had a wonderful experience. Ladies and gentlemen, we are living in a very competitive and an ever-growing world. The world today rewards those who can communicate effectively, think critically, solve problems creatively, and adapt continuously. These are the qualities that lie at the heart of a BS English education. To all students watching today, choose your degree not just based on popularity, but based on your strengths, your interests, and the opportunities, the plethoric opportunities that it can create for your future. And I hope you all benefit from it. All the very best for your careers and for your futures. But before we end this very interesting and a very enlightening session, I would like to quickly and diligently thank everyone who was involved in orchestrating this very important career counseling session. I would like to thank our program manager, Sir Qaiser, for bringing together such a stunning and a stellar panel to discuss and ponder over this particular topic, this particular subject, which is navigating the road towards BS English and the plethoric opportunities that it opens for an aspiring graduate.
Thank you so much, Ali, for inviting the entire faculty here, for giving us this chance of conveying why BS English is very important, specifically at Szabist University. Because the program has been designed with the view that it's not only about English language teaching. The world of BS English has scope beyond imagination. And we will make you not only imagine, but we will turn these imaginations into reality once our graduates have the degree of BS English, especially from Szabist University. Thank you very much.
I would also like to thank our wonderful panel, starting off with Ma'am Sabeen Amjad, Sir Nasirullah Khan.
Thank you, Ali, for having me on your podcast. Thank you very much.
Ma'am NIda Shabbir.
Thank you so much, Ali, for having me. And I hope that with this session, we will be able to understand how BS English program at Szabist University is letting our graduates shine in the market.
And Sir Ijlal Hussain.
Thank you so much, Ali Raza, for having me. Thank you.
What a lovely group, what a lovely unit. This is what makes BS English a true testament to the power of what happens when visionaries sort of come together. They sort of create magic, and I get to learn a lot from these people. So anybody watching, if you are stuck at deciding what to do after you are done with your 12th metric or whatever, make sure to explore BS English at Szabist, because this is the way forward. The world is changing, and so you have to change as well. I would like to thank our technical department at Szabist University. And with that, we end this podcast. Thank you everyone once again. And Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much. And until we meet again. Allah Hafiz.